This is the Voiceover Gurus Podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry with your hosts, Linda Bruno and JJ Wilson.
Lord, load the tape. I'm tired.
Right, I've got the dad in. I'm recording. Wait a minute. Let me
The reel to reel is recording.
Yes. I'm going 2-track mono on this.
Great.
Okay, I am recording. It is. The needle thing is going up and down. Good. I did a 4-minute video yesterday, and I decided, I'm not going to punch in since it's so short. So I'm reading away, and I made a mistake, and I went back and read into it and kept going and read into it and kept going, and finally got done, looked over, and I'd never hit record again.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I had less mistakes in the second take. So.
There's a reason for everything. Hey, welcome back to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Hey, JJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was adjusting my headphones so I could hear more things in my ears.
I have to do a project. It's still in the audition mode for a local client.
Oh, really? What's the client's name, Linda?
A producer that actually gave me my very first job when I moved to New York in 96.
Oh, wow. That
yeah.
was like 50 years ago.
A million years ago.
Wow.
But he's just the middleman, and the client first, it's for like a diversity video. And they were like, okay, we think it sounds too monotone. So we'd like to be more lively and engaging. So then I do like another 3 just of a paragraph, now you sound like you're having too much fun. And I'm like, I'm having fun reading about diversity. Anyway, thankfully they found a spot on my demo. They were like a minute, 0.33. We like that read. And that's a very intimate, warm read. So anyway, I'm going to do.
How'd you get to that point from their first direction?
I know. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. And so Dave's like, well, do you want me to write? I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'd rather be by myself in the booth.
Yeah.
I'm going to record it. And they're actually willing to pay for the full recording so they can start editing video. If they don't want to use me, then unfortunately Dave will have to start looking for another woman. But, it's just at this point, I just want to be not directed. I want you to just let me do my thing.
Exactly. There's nothing better than the client reading you the copy first.
Yeah.
I always just try and tune it out because I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear what they're doing.
Especially if they're contradicting themselves.
Yeah. I want it happy and warm. So now
I know
this way. And I went, and they start over directing immediately. And I go, you hired me.
Yeah.
This is what I do. Can I just give you my version first and we'll go from there? It's a good starting place. And if you want something different, I'll just go there for you. But maybe I'll be close in my first read. Oh, that's a good idea.
And lo and behold, they also gave the direction. She sounds too much like a teacher, and we want her to sound like a professor. I'm thinking in my mind, I translate that as my voice. I need to lower my voice, my pitch. So I'm going to pitch it a little lower to be more professorial. I know. This is what we deal with, folks. You're too much.
You sound like a sergeant in the fire department. I need you to sound more like a captain.
I know it's true.
What? Imagine the water pressure being 80%. I need you to do 77.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. And that proves our point, which we've said 1,000 times. They don't know what they want when they sit down. When they hear it, they go, oh, that's the good one.
That's the one. That's why I figure if I just can run through it by myself a couple times, submit those. I have no problem doing the work. It's fine.
I'd much rather just do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather. And may I take a moment to give kudos? And, I'd like to say goodbye to him, too, because my hitman is on the way up. To Troy Holden, who you saw his post the other day on Facebook that he booked the Yellowwood spot.
Oh, yes.
With an agent that I'm with. And I auditioned for that. And I said, so I didn't remember. I said, what one was that? And he said, absolutely. And I went, you booked the 1-word spot over me, huh? You did. And he said, absolutely. And that's all he said the entire conversation. I said, that's enough.
Well, he does have an accent. So
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what they needed.
Maybe. I wish I'd known.
Gave it that authenticity.
Yeah. But they booked him for 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
For one word.
Yay.
So I said, you'll probably do it 80, 90 times. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But anyway, kudos to Troy.
Good job.
I like it when a student beats me out for a gig. That means we're doing the right thing here.
It's a weird thing.
And Linda,
yeah.
We need to talk. It's wonderful and all, but I think we're overdoing it.
Yeah. Well, I have that situation because Aaron and I go up against the same, a lot of the same.
Oh, do you really?
Yes.
Oh.
So when I find out she booked something, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I auditioned for that too. So, but it's all good, you know.
It is.
They work hard, and they've done the time, you know. They put in the effort. They work daily on their craft. Yep. And they're good people. So I'm totally
sorry. Nothing. I say a word. No,
I'm happy for anyone. I'm actually happy. I've never been the competitive type to be like, I should have had that, because it's so
No, me either.
As
if we're teaching them and they book a job over us, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you do it again, we have a problem. But the first one is just awesome.
This is an interesting point, though, because one of my students was telling me that another woman was upset. She had a client, and apparently another female talent sent her demo and all this stuff to this client, kind of pitching herself.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl said, well, she went after my job. And I don't agree with that, because it's basically saying that you could never, all right, I'm the voice of this, so therefore the client can never listen to anyone else or ever consider anyone else.
They're going to get sent stuff all the time.
Yeah. So I don't feel like it's like this personal vendetta. This woman, I guess, felt like it was some personal vendetta. Yeah. Hey, this is competition, you know. That's and right. It's just, hey, if the client was fully happy with you, then they wouldn't have switched.
You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, then they wouldn't have switched.
Right.
You know, I had situations where other talent were recommended when I had a client, and then I had somebody fighting for me on the team saying, no, we want to keep Linda. We want to keep Linda. Yep. You know, sometimes that's what it comes down to.
Yep. They come, they go.
That brings me to another point. Relationships in this business.
Yes. It's best not to have any.
Well, it's all about relationships.
It is.
A level of respectfulness towards the client or the producer, whoever it is that you wind up having that first contact with. Try not to piss them off. You know, try not to offend anyone if you possibly can.
Yeah, I think they are overly, I don't know how to put it nicely, but a lot of the times you feel like, you know, well, I'm just the talent.
Mm-hmm.
And they have control of my life now. You know, they have the ability to give me an account that pays a ton of money, and you just don't want to tick them off in any way, shape, or form. It's always yes and whatever you want.
Right.
But knowing everything well about what you're doing, from billing to when to call to what to do when you send a demo. We had somebody the other day who said, you know, I sent a demo and they never call. And it was a couple of years ago. And it's okay to follow up. If you don't follow up, your demo is just going to go on a desk and they'll never hear it again.
Yep, exactly.
If you follow up, maybe 3-4 weeks, and say, you know, sent you a demo, don't want to bother you, just checking in.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And maybe you'll get a reply. If you don't get a reply, try again in another 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But don't call them every day, and don't not call them.
Right. There has to be some proactivity happening.
Yes.
But so starting on the first point, when it comes to billing, make sure that your invoice states all your information and the easiest way to pay you. Yes. You do not want to have the client having to contact you and going, where's your email address for PayPal? Where's your mailing address? Who do you want it sent out, made out to? What's your company name? Because it's just one extra step somebody has to take that you're not getting your check. You're not getting paid.
And the more ways you have to get paid, the better.
Yes.
If you have Venmo and all that stuff on there, they can do direct deposit. They can pay by PayPal. I even have on mine that I accept Sheep. So if you have Venmo and all that stuff on there, they can do direct deposit. They can pay by PayPal. I even have on mine that I accept Sheep. So if you have Venmo and all that stuff on there, they can do direct deposit. They can pay by PayPal. I even have on mine that I accept Sheep. So if you have Venmo and all that stuff on there, they can do direct deposit. They can pay by PayPal. I even have on mine that I accept Sheep. So if you have Venmo and all that stuff on there, they can do direct deposit. They can pay by PayPal. I even have on mine that I accept Sheep. So, with a mailing address and a trailer rental company. So,
It's very thorough.
give them as many ways to make it easy for them. You always want to make it easy.
Click
So
a
they
button.
go, this guy's easy. I'm going to use him again. It was nothing to work with him. We was done.
You have to have those easy links on your invoice. You don't want somebody to have to work for it. So that's a simple thing to me, but I guess some people don't think about that when they're setting up their
It's
bookkeeping,
yeah. When they
process.
haven't done it before, and I'm guilty of that. I looked at my one of the da 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 oh my God, invoices, and I had due now, and I sent it the day we did it, and so I wrote him back and apologized. I said, I'm sorry, I hit a wrong button. Please take till tomorrow to pay me. Ha 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 ha. But you got to be careful of stuff like that, because some people are just, they'll get angry.
Well,
how dare they do that?
Be careful with those automated reminders that are within your bookkeeping software. If you've never worked in the corporate world, just take a little page out of our notebooks here. Corporations are not this easy thing to just like you get paid same day, not even next week. A lot of times,
next month.
Right. So there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of paperwork that's involved. There's a lot of people have to sign off on it. Sometimes you have to get a PO number before you can even file your invoice. The project has to be approved. So it's not just an easy 1, 2, 3. And you have to keep that in mind with the producer that hired you to do it, that this is what they're dealing with. So sending an invoice and then saying, I want my money now is not good.
No, that's bad. That's bad. And sometimes I get documents from agents because of whoever the client is, and they're so, secretive about everything. It's like 10 pages long.
Yeah.
You got to, are you a citizen? Have you ever committed murder on a cat? And stuff like that. But I mean, it's a nightmare to fill out. Then you got to scan it and email it back before they'll even send you the bill to do the invoice. So, it's just the business end is as important as the talent end, because all ends are important, because if you're great at the talent, but you mess with them on anything else, I don't care how good you were, you're done.
Yeah.
They want easy. They're all flying at 1,000 miles an hour in advertising agencies and production companies, and I'm just sitting around waiting for work. So it's, it's not kind of the same thing.
Right. But keep in mind that the regular business world is usually a net 30. You can be hopeful and say net 15 that you're going to get paid. That means you're going to get paid within 15 days.
What kind of net do you have?
I know. But net 30.
Can I borrow it?
Net 30 is like the standard that you say request payment within 30 days. I usually say my advice would be once you get to hit 45 days, that's when I would do a little reach out, a little, hey, just making sure you got my invoice. I love to go that route. I act as if maybe they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't get it. Maybe it got lost, know?
Right.
As opposed to, I haven't been paid and you need to pay me. So make sure you don't get those automated reminders, because I was getting them from someone. Every week I was getting a reminder, you owe this. And I'm like, whoa. The project just got approved. This is, I don't mind taking the hit for someone and paying them, but I'm sure it's not going to pay you the day that you give me the invoice. It's just not possible. There's a cash flow thing. There's a,
even through the union, it used to be 10 working days. I think now it's 20 or 30.
Wow. Yeah.
They've even extended it. And you want to, when you work for an agent and you book a fun spot, you want to get an email from the agent. I got an awesome message from Rachel, the project manager who hired you from Level Ad Agency. Their Mill-Lax client is beyond pleased, in quotes, with how the spots turned out. They said you were easy to work with, you were prepared, and you collaborated with them to make the spots perfect. Yay, love feedback like that. Thank you, J.J. Wilson's biggest agent.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's a game. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
And it's called make them slide off the chair with happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Make no problems.
One of my clients, I did a job last week, and they included.
What was it for, Linda?
You always ask. You already know who this client is. And
Okay.
I had the opportunity to see the whole email thread from the beginning of the project inception as to who they were talking about, what they were doing. And I saw in several of the emails it said, well, Linda's our go-to. Let's use Linda. And then another one, oh, yes, she's so easy to work with. Don't worry about it. Just send her over the file. Great. I'll get in touch with her. She'll respond quickly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is a team talking about what I've delivered in the past.
It's surprising how much they will like you more if you're really easy to work with.
Yeah. Just make it.
It's just, I don't know why, but because some people are jerks, they're really good, but they're jerks about it, and people stand it for just so long, and then eventually it's going to catch up with you. And I've watched it happen over my 40 years in this business, that I kept looking at the guy going, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Don't rewrite the copy. The writer's sitting in the other room. Don't say this line is, it's terrible.
No critiquing here.
And his career finally ended. And I got all his work.
You can stop being an ass.
I'd like to thank him very much for being a jerk.
Right.
You just have to be careful. And that's one of the things I was just talking about with, it says, and you collaborated with them to make the spots perfect. So I think what they mean by that is that something I forget, but I just helped them. Something wasn't quite working, and they were thinking about it. And I said, ooh, 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 in a fun way.
Let me try.
And I said, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's just an idea that came into my head, and here it is. And they loved it.
That's a great approach.
We went with it. And that way, if they don't like it, they don't feel like you put them in the corner and, oh, God, he's going to feel bad if we don't take that. You've got to do it in a way that says, no harm, no foul. It's just something that popped into my head. I want to lay it on you.
Right.
If you don't like it, great. Whatever. You guys are the writers, and this is a great script, by the way.
Exactly.
Slide them off the chair. Butter them up till they slide off the chair.
All of our clients are important. Never considered that just because somebody hired you for a small job that it may not be something coming.
Oh, we're bringing up Troy again. Thanks a lot, Linda.
What? Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know.
Like, say you do.
I'm not sure I understand.
What? Oh, my phone's talking to me. That's because I didn't talk to you.
I did that earlier today.
Such a pain.
She started pouting off something about the ancient pyramids. I was in the bathroom listening to Facebook.
That's funny.
I said, I got some ancient pyramids for you.
Some of the here's a situation. Okay, you book a nice client, they use you, maybe they're local, maybe they're just in that market, they do furniture, I don't know.
Furniture spots,
fantastic. I know.
I love those.
So, and you've worked with them for like a good 6 months to a year, and you're on a lot of their stuff, and then all of a sudden another client comes along in the same market and says, we want to hire you for something. What do?
Oh, that's about the worst situation you can come across in voiceovers.
So it happens to me, especially because of the first market I started in Fort Myers, because I know people there. So I will contact the client and I'll say, hey, just letting you know, want to get your feedback on it. So-and-so has asked me to do something. I don't want to say yes until I ask you.
Was it furniture?
No, it wasn't furniture.
Oh, okay. Well, that shouldn't be too bad then.
It's just that I'm like their voice.
Right.
And, if I hadn't asked, I wouldn't know that the president of the company is very particular about that.
Okay. Yeah,
that you're
always
our voice.
Ask.
Yes, you're our voice. They don't want to hear you as somebody else's voice. Right. So it's things like that you might think, oh, it's just a job. It's just this, it's just that. But it could run forever, because if you do one of these stupid buyout things, and then that completely precludes you from auditioning or working with another client in that market. You have to pay attention. But it's stuff like that will burn bridges.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. And
I
it's,
lost a car dealer that way.
did you?
If you guys get into car spots and you're doing a lot of them, make sure you get the markets for each and every one and you keep a list of
Yes.
where they're running.
Yes.
Because it turns out that I did a Chevy dealer one day and a Toyota dealer the next.
In the
And
same.
guess what? They were across the street from each other.
Oh, God. How did you handle that?
I didn't have to. The Chevy dealer called and said, I can't believe you did that. And they hung up and they never called back again.
Oh, man, that's painful.
And they went, I didn't know. And he said,
Yeah.
you should have. Keep track of your markets. I don't, we don't want the same voice doing, what's across the street. And I went, you're right. I'm very sorry. And
I
we
would
did
keep
work
a
it out. We
spreadsheet.
did work it out. Yes, exactly. Keep a spreadsheet
But
of
when I
stuff like
didn't
that,
know
because-
so much, I didn't keep a spreadsheet. And then I got in the
Well, I
same
didn't either.
situation.
I
And
didn't.
some like car spots in the day can come very quickly and they want everything turned around fast. So they'll just say, hey, are you available here? Here's if you are. And you're looking at like a spread of car spots and you're like, oh, of course I'm available. You don't even think about it, but you got to get on the Google Maps and you got to see, wait a minute, is the radius of airing, will it cross? And then say to the client, hey, I am working in this market. Is this going to conflict with you before? It stinks because you're looking at money, but you cannot burn these bridges.
You'll lose both instead of having one.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I have one car client that actually calls me and says, are you available in this market?
Mm-hmm.
And I always, because I'm not very good at keeping track, I go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you just got blurry for a second.
No.
Is there heroin in my soda?
No.
Or was that your camera?
It's the Logic camera. And then it goes back to normal. There's no heroin in your soda.
Okay. Well,
so anyway, be respectful. Just try and take into consideration the client's, what the client's going through. And for God's sake, somebody gives you a job, be grateful. Maybe, be extra nice. Send an extra little thank you note. Do something that says that you're appreciative.
Yep.
But don't go to their competition and start, doing things with them. Because people find out and they hear it. And then the next thing you know, and the problem is you're never going to know that that's what happened. Next thing you know, someone's not going to call you and you're not going to know. And it's just going to be like, oh, well, you're going to think it was something else. It's like, no, you probably had some sort of faux pas. And that's the tough part about this business. But if you can just try to remain aware of all the players involved and who could potentially be offended, annoyed,
weird story. I work for a company called Red 7.
I see their scripts on the workouts.
Yes, a lot of car spots. And they've been very good to me. They really went all through COVID, not with a whole lot, but they kept me working.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't use me.
I don't know why either.
I
forwarded you to them.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Why, JJ?
Sorry. But every year I just do something for them. And I was in bed the other night, I think it was last Wednesday night. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning because I had been making a clock for our house here out of some beautiful, there was an old pallet by the garbage dumpster near the house they just built. So I went over and I dragged the damn thing to the car. I thought I was going to have another heart attack. And then it didn't fit. So I'm not kidding. I took my mobility scooter and dragged it home. It was 12 degrees. My hands were falling off. Janine's got her car there in her pajamas. But anyway, so I'd making a clock and I woke up in the middle of the night and I went, ooh, a clock for Red 7 with no numbers on it except a Red 7 at 7:00.
Oh.
And I just finished making it and it's so cool. Oh God, they don't know about it yet. Oh, well, I hope they don't listen to this. But anyway, stuff like that. And I'm going to send it to them and just say, just a small way to say, you keep me in business. Thank you.
You do a lot of work for them.
Yes. And I just a thank you in some way. I do that with a lot of my clients. And you don't have to make them something, just anything.
But a big point is that you're doing it after the fact that you've been hired, not before being hired, like you're trying to buy someone.
Right. Right. Here's $150. Can you hire me?
Right.
My rate is $150.
Right.
No.
Important
You're not
point to make.
losing anything. You suck. No.
Important point to make.
That'd be horrible to get turned down in that respect.
I know. Right?
It's free. No. No.
Still don't want you. You sound too much like a teacher, not like a professor.
Right.
I had a client.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah,
That's
right.
a new one.
It was actually Verizon years ago. And I remember it was Brian Lee that actually did the narration because he was hired through Verizon. He used to do a lot of work through me as well for Verizon. This was back when like 5 of the producers used to call. And one of the clients said on one of Brian's reads, can he read it 10% faster?
Sure.
Brian was not happy. He's like,
no.
what the F is mean by 10%? He went off on this whole thing percentage wise. And I get it. I'm like, yeah, it's a little vague. Do you want it? I don't, 5. What do you want the timing to be? Would be what my question would be.
Right. Well, I just would have timed it and added 10% to it and reread it.
Yeah, that's not.
Or read. That's because
Brian wound up doing it. He wound up doing it, but sometimes you're going to get weird direction like that too.
Oh man. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. 10% faster. Okay, I couldn't get it in the time that you wanted anyway. There was too much copy. Now you want it faster than that? No, we've added 2 lines. Good. Anything out? No.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm gonna have to reread the whole thing. Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, we took 1 line out and added 2. Can you fit them in there? No.
1 line out. I know.
No. And my favorite thing in the world is when we're working on something and they go, let me see, we're at 67. Take out they. All right, let's try it again.
I know.
What?
I know.
Okay. But
I had that speed issue with a client a couple of weeks ago. They sent way too much copy for the space that it was supposed to fit in. Yeah. And so what did I do? I read it at a, race car speed and sent it to him. I go, is this really what you want? Before I did anything else.
Right.
Because I was like, no, I want you to hear this. And he was like, oh God, we have to redo some of the stuff. So he rewrote the copy, which was good. And then I was able to do the 2 spots in the time that he wanted. And because I had done the sample, I didn't have to do a bunch of retakes, which was nice.
And the most surprising thing is when they say, yeah, we'll make it work.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
How are you going to do that?
Might sound
this is an industrial I read a year ago. And paragraph 1 is at this pace. Paragraph 2 is at this pace. Paragraph 3 is at this pace. And then paragraph 4 is at that pace. And they said, you can tell.
I know.
It's like 3 times fast. Nah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll just speed up the rest of it. And I went, okay.
I know.
There's a lot of things to learn in this business. There's a lot of things. And even after this many years, I still make mistakes. I have ticked people off.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I regret a couple of them, but I didn't know what else to do. I was at wit's end. After 9 months of not getting paid, I had to raise my voice. I just had to. I had enough of this.
I know. It's tough.
It's ridiculous. You've got to pay me. It's not like you're a tiny little company.
I'm waiting.
And I've not been able to get her on the phone in 7 years.
Oh, God.
She sees probably that it's me calling and she never answers. She won't answer my emails. What can you do? But at some point, you've got to just, put your foot down. I've sat in an office and said, I'm not doing anything else, nor am I leaving until you pay me what you owe me.
Yeah.
And that ruined my relationship with them too.
Right.
But a lot of people have done that. Starts with a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sat there. I said, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
You can close if you want, but I'm going to be right here.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So
right now I have, but it's an existing client and it's a large one that owe me. It's a year ago I did the job. And the thing is, it took 4 months for it to get approved. So I wasn't able to bill it till February. and I'm still trying to get money on it. But because I work with him regularly, I just do very gentle, hey, is there a chance you could check into that again? Thankfully, with QuickBooks, you can see if somebody looked at the invoice.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, they looks like
Yes.
they looked at it 45 days ago. You know, they
Yeah.
usually pay 45 to 60. Do you think? And then the producer's like, I'm so sorry, you know, very apologetic, to try to keep the relationship sound, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it stinks, but at the end of
Sometimes
the
it's
day,
tough.
yeah,
Sometimes it's tough.
yeah,
I'm going through the same thing now. It's been 13 months
13 months.
and jobs from then till just last week. And, you know, when it came time, I just sent them all of the invoices again.
Yeah.
And they wrote back and they said, can you put it into a statement for me? And I went,
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Are you
So
serious?
so I put it into a statement and I emailed. He said, I never got it. I
Oh,
said, check your spam. He said, it's not there. And I said, okay, what would you like me to do? He said, send it to this email address. So I sent the statement there and he said, can you send me a statement with the job numbers on it? And I said,
are
they're
you
there.
kidding me?
No, they're there.
Oh,
And then we had, 3 times of going back and forth. I'm just not getting your emails. And then I didn't hear back. So I called, or I wrote an email yesterday and I'm saying, just wanted to make sure that you got the final email with everything you asked for in it. Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry, I didn't let you know. I'm going to get into those. It's been a busy week, and probably sometime in the next 2 weeks, I'll get that check out to you. And one of them is from the late September of 2021.
oh my gosh.
Well, what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah. If they're clients that maybe I've worked with, you know, and I don't have, like, I haven't heard from them in like 6 months and they haven't paid me for the last job and they want me to do something else, I use
Oh,
that
no,
as
no, no.
leverage. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I say,
yeah,
if you could go ahead and pay me for the last one, I'll be happy to do this next one.
yeah,
And then that always seems to prompt them because they need this one done.
right. But with 35-year clients, you shouldn't have to do anything. It should be,
No.
it seems like there's the respect is gone. And it's just like, and I never know what to do. They've been very good to me,
Right.
but so that means I got to sit here and take it for 13 months?
I know. No, I
That's
know.
not fair. That's not fair.
I had
I've
a
never
last,
made them wait.
I
Never
had
missed
a,
a session.
oh, I know. I know. We're
Never.
prompt, but you know, it's balancing the payment aspect. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a client call who I have not spoken to in a couple years, and he's like, "Hey, I need to run a spot in San Diego for this music festival. I thought about you. We can't get, you know, a hold of the regular DJ that does it. You know, could you cut a few for me? I really appreciate it." And it was Friday afternoon, at 4:45. And
That's
he
fun.
says, "How long you
That's
there?" I said, "I'm leaving in 15 minutes," you know,
right.
because I know this person too. I know how they kind of fly by
Yeah.
the seat of their pants. And he's like, "Okay, well, what do you want to charge?" I go, "Well, what's your budget? Because I don't even know how long it's running for 2 weeks. It's a temporary thing. What's your budget? We'll talk about it." Okay, fine. I just cut the stuff. I sent it off to him. He emails me back, says, "Fantastic. Oh my God, you're the best. We're going to use cut three. You know, tell me how I can pay you." Okay, great. Monday, I send him my PayPal address. Here's my PayPal address. You know, no response. Hey, just checking to see if you got my email on that. Just want to wrap this up. The phrase, I'm wrapping it up. I'm closing up my books, whatever it is.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And then, oh yeah, is there an easier way? Is there like a credit? Can I pay by credit card? Sure. Do you want me to create an invoice for you? No response. So at that point, I give it to Sandy. Sandy contacts him and says, "Hey, what do you want to do?" He goes, "Oh, just send us an invoice." Now I have no idea what he wants to pay because he won't give me an answer. So I'm like, I said to Sandy, I'm like, $200, and she's like, go for 250. So she
Yeah.
makes the invoice up for 250, sends it. He pays it within 30 seconds. But sometimes, you know, you're gonna have situations like that.
It's the hardest part of the business.
But if we don't stay on
Sometimes.
it, someone like that
Yeah.
is already off on the next job. He's not going to
Yeah.
think about it.
Right.
And
Right. Because he's already spent your money
right,
on the next job.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like the one agent, I've said this before, where's my money? I spent it.
Oh God.
But I'm going to take a year to pay back $900. And I went, oh, that'll be fun.
Did it get paid back?
Yes, but it
Oh,
took a year.
okay.
A year.
Well, at least
That's
it got
what,
paid back.
$72 a month? I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
I felt bad and everything else. And he's a good guy. And, because of the way I am, when he got done, I said, I got to tell you, I've been really angry at you for what you did. but I'm over that now, and I think that you're a good guy. And if you ever do that again, I'm going to come smack you. But I do think you're a good guy because you kept your word. You
Yes.
did eventually pay me.
Yeah.
And I know you were going through
That's
hard
huge.
times. And I said, I really, really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that makes you a good man in my eyes. And I said, if you need anything, you let me know. I'm always here for you. Because that matters. It matters.
Yeah, totally. Not
It
like
does.
the agent that I had that went out of business and just left.
Yeah, I'm one of them too.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
And I had to go call the client to ask for
They're in
payment.
Zihuatanejo now on a beautiful yacht with my dentist.
These are the things. But anyway,
Oh my.
I know we're generalizing a bit, but we just wanted to cover that.
Yeah, but that's
Business
huge.
relationships are important.
It's huge. It really, really is huge.
You'll
It doesn't
burn.
matter how good you are. If you don't do the rest of it right, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And people
But it,
remember.
of course, it helps to be good.
Sure. But you know what? You work this hard to get in the door, and you work this hard. You booked the job after auditioning and all that. Don't screw it up with simple stuff like this.
Right.
Because then they're not going to tell you. They're just never going to use you again.
Right. You know, perhaps we should do a business class. Nothing but business.
But that's the master class has that. But you want to do a live one.
Yeah. Yeah. Where you actually, or I don't know how, but Janine knows how, to put up, you know, an invoice and how to create the invoice, the template for an invoice and what to do and whether or not you have a corporation. So you need your SIE number, EIS number,
EIN.
and things like that. And how it all, EIN number. Yeah.
SIE.
But farmers use the EIO number, but I use the EIS number, whatever the hell. But yeah, we could, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'll have to mull that one over. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn.
Who's Mel?
Mel. What?
You want to Mel over it?
Mull.
Oh, Mull. Okay.
Well,
Martin Mull.
When this airs, everybody would have hopefully had a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm stuffed.
I'm so full too.
Oh my God, I'm stuffed.
That turkey was great.
It really, really was. It really was.
That does it for another fantastic episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
Fantastic. I like the way you said that.
Any last words there, Gigi?
It just made me sweaty.
We do have some online workouts in December.
Yeah,
we do. We're gonna do 3. So check the schedule, and it's pretty much the Wednesdays prior to when the holidays kick in. So we're not going to do it over the holidays, obviously. But yeah, join us for a workout or take some lessons.
Please.
We
you want to hone your craft, and because I know I've said this before, but I've learned a lot myself from everybody, you and Alyssa and our students. And I feel like I'm growing every week. We do that too. Yeah. And I'm learning things, and I don't know. I feel good about my teaching lately.
Yeah.
The 3 of us together are a pretty powerful match.
Yeah.
Coming from all perspectives, you know, because you're a girl.
I am.
Yes.
Last I checked.
I'm a boy. Yes. Now I'm more sweaty. But I mean, the years, we've probably gone through 4 generations of what it's like to be a voiceover actor.
Yes.
We went from, the giant reels to cassettes, to DAT, to this, to that, to digital.
Remember carts?
Carts. Yeah.
You had to push it in just the right way.
Yeah. Remember putting them on the machine, go to erase it. And if you didn't do it right, something came up in the middle of the spot. I didn't quite erase it right, but it's just, we can really be a good help to you. And if you really put the effort into it, you can be like, we've turned out some real winners.
Then we'll be talking about you on the podcast and how we don't want to audition against you.
That's right.
Well, we do have to mention one thing. Last week we did the mock audition workout, and starting to realize that the folks that show up for the mock audition workout, a lot of them are
good,
working or auditioning heavily. And man, it's like the next level.
You're not allowed anymore.
But everyone was so fantastic. That puts us in that tough spot of deciding who would be the fictional winner.
Linda and I couldn't decide. I had to call my neighbor over. She goes, "What am I doing here?" And I said, "Listen to these. Who do you like?" Because I can't tell. There was one last week that I never gave an answer.
Yeah, that's right.
I just didn't know.
I had to pick. But it's almost like the mock audition night is really for more intermediate folks.
Yes.
Looking to compete and get to that next level.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. I mean, definitely join us. But I don't think it's for beginners, but it's definitely for someone who has a little bit of experience and is looking to just kind of perfect it.
But if you have too much experience,
we don't want you.
Right. It's too hard to decide. Stay home. But yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. And it is cool because it puts a lot of pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
And, I see the seriousness in the people's faces as they're doing these on the auditions.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, they're sweating a little bit. They're trying real hard, which is good because that's what we do all day long. Sure.
Our next one won't be until the new year, January. We'll probably do
January. Okay.
But in the meantime, everyone have a fantastic rest of your whatever it is, what time you're listening to this.
That's probably, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Oh, no, too soon. It's going to air before that.
Happy July 4th. We'll just
I hope it airs before that. Wow.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And how many horses does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
None. Horses don't change light bulbs.
Okay.
All right, then.
And on that note, we end the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Thank you for showing up and being you.
Oh, good. All right, good.
Thanks for listening to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry. Learn more about us and get coaching at voiceover.guru.